Of Cultural Group Benefit Company, a group life insurance designed for cultural association. We've done this program now for 21 years. The program is approved in 46 states. It's a group life insurance program. I want to emphasize it's a group life insurance program for cultural association, guaranteed without any pre-existing medical conditions. Please, cultural community, there's no need for GoFundMe. We have a program designed for cultural association. Please, if you want to know more about this program, visit our website, www.culturalgroupbenefits.com, or call me directly, 763-593-5107. Thank you.
Welcome to Africa Weekly News with Ellie Nyamal Show at Tempo Africa TV. We are barely into 2022 and we are already starting to get the glimpse of what the rest of our 2022 years would look like. There's many battles between the parliament, the government, the leaders, the people, the coronavirus, and everything else that you could think of that is going on around in the world. Today we're going to give you updates on what is happening with the Olympic that is supposedly in February 4th till the 8th or the 28th, I believe, and also many leaders that have been resigning in their countries and why they are resigning. Could it all be the frustration of the coronavirus, the new variants, things that cannot be maintained just based on human basic needs? And also all the chaos and the eruption that has been happening in the world that we have been reporting lately in our talk show. So first, we're going to go ahead and start with coronavirus. With everything made in China, including the coronavirus, Wuhan virus have returned to China, canceling the Olympic 2022. This Olympic was supposed to happen on February 4th. Now, with some of the restrictions that Xi Jinping has passed out due to zero COVID policy, and that also includes, before the Olympic was canceled, that there would be no cheering, only applaud. And you can only imagine how does an Olympic go on without cheering, because it's very common for most people to cheer for their teammates and the winning teammates and also things like that. And that is a whole part of the game. Any game that goes on anywhere in the world, there's always a lot of cheering. But Xi Jinping was very strict on that and made a zero COVID policy. There would be no sharing. And now going forward, they have decided with the coronavirus getting worse and the new variants coming up, that there would be no Olympic this year. Quite devastating for all of those athletes that were ready and prepared and have been training for months for this moment. And what does that say going forward for China? It's definitely not a really good outlook, for a coronavirus that devastated the world, started in one place where it just canceled one of the largest winter Olympic games in the world. Meanwhile, with that happening in China, millions and millions of people have gone on lockdown, and there are also people with suits in coronavirus going around detecting people and taking them out of their home to quarantine camps. They have been set up due to the fast spread of the Omicron, and a lot of these people are being taken out of their home by force and being taken to a transit bus, and that bus takes them all to a quarantine camp. We don't know exactly how long they quarantine there or how long they keep them there, but that is currently what is happening in China with the virus spreading and affecting lots and lots of people. And as things get worse, people continue to get dragged, and also with some of the cities and local towns are currently on lockdown as well. Now, going forward, have you guys probably heard the news lately? Many leaders have been resigning, and you kind of wonder why they have been resigning and what are the main reasons and the causes behind their resignations. We have lists of some countries and their prime minister who have resigned and why they have resigned. A lot of these are all due to the pressure of the coronavirus and the endless variants. And here are the list of the resignations. The Italian Prime Minister Conte did hand in his resignation on January 26 in 2021 of last year in a hope of putting together a new condition and rebuilding a parliamentary majority, quit in a row over the government's handling of the coronavirus crisis and economic recession. Meanwhile, in Poland, Prime Minister Morawiecki announced a reshuffle of his party's government in September of 2020. This is right around the beginning of the coronavirus. Poland's health minister resigned in August of 2020 after criticism of the government's handling of the coronavirus and the scandals surrounding purchases of ventilators and masks as well. And the foreign minister resigned 2 days later after. In Russia, President Vladimir Putin unveiled a sweeping shakeup of the political system, which led the resignations of the ally as the prime minister, along with the entire government on January 13, 2021. In Kuwait, Emir reappointed Al-Khalid al-Sabah as prime minister on January 24th in 2021 after the whole cabinet resigned the previous week in the standoff with the parliament over its vote to question the premier on issues including his choice of minister. The Dutch Prime Minister Mark government resigned on January 15 of 2021, accepting responsibilities for wrongful accusations of fraud by the tax authorities that drove thousands of families to financial ruin after based on ethnicity. Malaysia's former Prime Minister Mohamad resigned at age of 94 in February 2020 and was replaced with Yassin, who later faced call to resign in October 2020 after Malaysia's king refused his request to declare a state of an emergency for coronavirus pandemic. Yusan still serves as a prime minister. France's government resigned and Macron picks up the new prime minister, where meanwhile dealing with the variants of the coronavirus and many schools are currently on lockdown, and while thousands of regular citizens are affected with the new variant. In Sudan, Sudan was plunged into further political turmoil on Sunday when Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok resigned, citing his failure to ensure a peaceful transition to democracy. Mali's transitional president and prime minister resigned during mediation efforts on Wednesday after being arrested in an apparent second military coup in the month. A top junta aide and an international diplomat said, as they reported. Kazakhstan, which is a country close to Russia, their president has accepted the resignation of the government hours after the declare of state of an emergency in large parts of the country in response to a rare outbreak of unrest due to economic crisis and things that the citizens have been holding in. Now, a lot of these resignations which have happened from the late years of 2020 until now, this really explains a lot what is going on around the world. How has the pandemic really have affected all these leaders around the world? And citizens are speaking up. There are many different protests and riots in many different cases, which could be a financial ruins in the country or ethnicity inequality, or just the huge different gap between the rich and the poor. And in our current state of situation, as the rich get richer with multiple larger companies that are getting richer through the pandemic, while the middle class are completely wiped out, that they either have to rise above their average to become among the richest or among the poorest, where the poverty are getting more and more poor. Now, this leaves a lot of questions. What is our world going to be like in the next coming years? Could this be the dark pace of what we have to go through and what we have to face in order for a better world to come? Or could things get worse for a very long time before we could finally realize what it really means to be a human in our planet and how we can all live together in a such way that is peaceful, be at peace with men as much as possible. So a lot of the leaders either have resigned because they don't want to take the responsibilities of the pressure that is happening in their country, or there are some guilt plays going on of things that they have stored for themselves and allowing the people to suffer. They say a great leader takes care of his people, his economic, and the country as well. But a selfish leader will definitely work on building their own circle and their own families, and also storing monies in other countries and building mansions as well. This is something that has been going on for many, many years, and people just had enough. Many people around the world are fighting against this, and they at least want their fair share, whether it is farming in their crops or building their own companies or having their own individualism in capitalism, or just moving forward to live a simple, better life for their families as well. So those are the updates we want to give you on a lot of the reasons why many of these prime ministers and presidents have resigned. There's still a lot of developing stories with that. Who knows how long this pressure is going to go on and how long this pandemic is going to last as well. Now, moving forward, how is the pandemic reshaping our world? This can also land a question in your head whether we are just at the beginning of the worst, or could this be the end of the pandemic as well? And some of the leaders that are resigning in a lot of these cases are allowing the people to make their own choices as well in some countries, because you have a half and half people who win with what the government tells them to do, and the other half that are fighting for their own beliefs and their own human rights as well. And some are very frustrated that with many that are not taking the vaccine as well, it may not reach the goal that they want with humanity, or no, herd immunity, and also hoping that the virus would go away at some point once we all have that herd immunity. So, and that may not happen because there will always be one side that disagree and one side that agree, one side that is fighting against it, and one side that is going along with it. And this could also lead to, as a human being, we're all different and we all have different choices as well. So probably some of the leaders just realize it's not really their job to deal with those pressure or to push people to do certain things that they may not agree of as well. Or even just blaming the citizens that they could be the one spreading the virus as well. And these are all the things that God are in control of. What could we expect in the next couple of months for the rest of the year 2022? Could this lead to the world of Squid Game? If you guys ever watched Squid Game, is an episode based in, I believe, Korea. I don't remember if it's North or South Korea, but it's a very popular Netflix series where people are chasing these $1 million or wealth and not realizing that they may die that moment, or they may pass or die tomorrow just to survive, or to get that wealth that they are looking for. And I haven't watched a lot of it myself, but I definitely have heard a lot of it. That it's kind of similar to what we are going through in our society, with everything that is happening around the world, with the inflation, the gas, the economic crisis, fighting for our health and coronaviruses, things multiple things like that. And a lot of this, there has been many lives that have been lost that did not make it through 2020, 2021, and also many that may not make it in 2022 as well. But those who make it, to be grateful for their life and be thankful, and just keep moving forward to build something better for themselves going forward. And hopefully we don't have to fight over, survival, like food and homes and things like that you see in a lot of theories as well. So we'll see what the future holds and where it takes us, and we can only plan ahead and also prepare for the worst case scenario, because you never know what life has in store or what surprises may come along. So these are the things to look forward to as a human being in the next coming years. Now, next things we're going to touch on in the next coming week is what is happening with all the vaccine mandates that are being blocked now by the Supreme Court as well. We're going to touch more on that, and also what are some of the noise that we can expect in the 2022 with the shift in our governments here in the U.S. and also around the world as well, and what we as people can do differently to come together, unity, and also to work together as one society and uplift one another, because many people will suffer while many people will still live a good life. And how can we balance that along the way? Thank you and have a wonderful week.
This is Sam Daly of Cultural Group Benefit Company, a group life insurance designed for cultural association. We've done this program now for 21 years. The program is approved in 46 states. It's a group life insurance program. I want to emphasize it's a group life insurance program for cultural association, guaranteed without any pre-existing medical conditions. Please, cultural community, there's no need for GoFundMe. We have a program designed for cultural association. Please, if you want to know more about this program, visit our website, www.culturalgroupbenefits.com, or call me directly, 763-593-5107. Thank you.
Nouveau à Minneapolis, Tempo Afrique Travel. Vous voulez voyager? Achetez vos billets d'avion à l'agence de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel. Avec l'agence de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, pas de problème de connexion, pas de problème de transfert de vol. Avec l'agence de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, c'est le voyage en toute tranquillité, en toute beauté, de votre maison jusqu'à votre destination. Votre satisfaction est notre plaisir.